Are you gonna slow down before you go low down? You're moving too fast, like a bullet. Shots fired, missed everyone. Like a bullet that jumped the gun. Shooter blinded by the sun. And the bullet just jumped the gun.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back, and thank you for taking another look at the behind the scenes for my portrait photography. If you're new here, I am Skinny. I am a portrait photographer that specializes in lifestyle and fashion photography. Today what we have is a behind the scenes photo shoot with my friend Victory Jones, who is a singer and songwriter. We are shooting in Soho, New York City, so there's a very popular handball court. As a photographer, I tend to use these handball courts as outdoor natural light studios. No matter what time of day, no matter what type of lighting you get, it's always going to be really good, especially because you have what's essentially a gigantic seamless backdrop. The lighting conditions were pretty harsh for that time, but it still fit the look that we were going for. The harsh contrasting sun and her strong features played really well together, and it created some strong imagery. It was a bit difficult at times to kind of control the light because essentially you're at the mercy of the clouds moving in and out. If you can't find a shaded area that the light is even, then typically what I would do is have the model angle her face upward towards the sun so that it can have a much more flattering effect. The other thing that you could do too is use that 12 o'clock sun reflected off of the wall. So if you have a model facing the wall and your back is to the wall, you can have that as basically a gigantic reflector that will bounce even light towards the subject. For equipment on this shoot, because it is 2018, I was shooting with a Canon 5D Mark III with a Tamron 24-70 2.8 lens. I also had the Sigma 50mm 1.4 lens, not the Art series, but an older version of the lens that I picked up off Craigslist for a pretty cheap price. When I'm shooting, I am always keeping in mind that I need vertical, wide and tight. I need landscape, wide and tight, but I also need 3/4. I need some that are positioned to the left, some that are positioned to the right, and I keep all of that in mind because I'm always shooting in terms of an editorial piece, no matter what platform it's for. If you keep all of these different mental checklists in your head, you will thank yourself for it. And so I always encourage people to shoot both vertical and horizontal. Unless, of course, you're shooting square or medium format, then it doesn't even matter to you, but you can always crop in for it. For video, this was actually at the time that I had just purchased the Sony a6500. So I'm shooting that with the kit lens and I think it's the Zhiyun Crane V2. So that was my first time working with the gimbal, my first time working with the Sony a6500. So initially when Victory reached out about the shoot, I didn't know that she had an album coming out. I assumed that these images are probably going to be some sort of fashion related content, but instead on the shoot she surprised me by letting me hear some of the songs for the album. While on the shoot, we decided to make a fun video that was just the chorus and the verse of one of my favorite songs on the album called Bullet. I love the energy of it and it fit her look perfectly. The first look was the thigh-high boots with the denim shorts and a black tank top, but she also paired that with a denim jacket and then layered on another faux fur coat. For the second look, she changed the piece into this black lace top and incorporated other accessories on her fingers. For the third look, it was another black top, but this time with this gold foil embroidery or this gold leaf pattern, which was very reflective in the sun. While I was shooting Victory, this gentleman approached us with a point-and-shoot camera. He seemed really anxious to take this photograph of Victory. And we looked at each other hesitantly, but we were like, all right, you never know, but let's see, what this guy was about. So after speaking to him for a few minutes, we found out that he is Robert Whitman. What was pretty serendipitous about this entire interaction was the fact that Robert Whitman was a photographer who captured Prince during his early years. And here I am documenting and capturing images for Victory in her early years as a musician. Sometimes life has a way of kind of teaching you these lessons or introducing you to people that put things into perspective. After Robert took photos of Victory, he invited us back to his photo studio so he can show us more of his work.
Soho?
Yeah. So we were doing our shoot and we met Robert.
Yeah.
Hello. So
Be careful.
Robert's
Green light.
also a photographer. And he's gonna show us his studio right now, so it's pretty cool.
Amazing, cool people, and I said I have to stop and take a photo.
And he did. We did a photo shoot within the photo shoot.
Yeah, so it's very, very cool.
That's just the way it works, But saying hello opens up doors, right?
It certainly does.
It does. Don't be afraid of strangers.
So we're gonna go check out Robert's studio.
Wow. Oh, this is bomb.
This is amazing.
What?
Wow.
Far away.
So we are at Robert's studio, and he's showing us photographs of Prince, from his very first tours, like Prince in the early days. Amazing.
You shot all of these too. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's like giving me Solange vibes all day. Look at that.
I make all these books of my travels, so people hire me to travel around the world and just document my life, like Vegas, Moscow, Punta del Este. This is Cuba. My favorite place in the world, but it's a swimming pool. And Punta del Este, and then years ago, I was in Russia, and everybody was smoking. And I came back, and I was, my God, this is the first photo.
That's such a dope concept.
This is the first photo I ever took in my life years ago, and these kids are old now, but it was cigarettes. So then I started putting together a book on cigarettes. And this I haven't worked on in years, but I have millions of pictures of cigarettes.
It's amazing, man.
It's, it's not so cool anymore, but it's a dying story.
Yeah, but that book is amazing. Like, I would buy that.
I work a lot with this dance company called Palabolis, and they took me to Israel.
That's epic.
And I like it. They love taking their clothes off wherever. This was in Israel, and then also this. This is my ex-wife. When we had a big fight in Miami, and at 3 o'clock in the morning I stormed out of the room, but she was totally pissed. I snapped the picture.
That's so bomb. This is awesome, Robert.
Man. Thank you for taking us here.
Yeah, this is like
No, you
such a
guys
treat.
are so cool. But I'd love to collaborate with you guys.
No,
Yes.
for sure, man.
So this is the Prince book that I was his first photographer that tried to get him a record deal, and my friends discovered him, and they asked if I would shoot him at no charge. Obviously, I was a young photographer, and I was thrilled. So
That's so cool.
is the book, and the intro was written by Spike Lee,
Wow.
Nice.
and he signed this book for me. Prince, my black brother, Spike Lee. So he wrote the intro to this book. There's very famous pictures were against this music wall in Minneapolis. This is the most iconic photo
Yes.
of him.
Somebody just posted that the other day.
Wow.
And so it's all the different proof sheets. I shot him 3 times in different spots. And again, I was a very young photographer at the time. This is a very classic photo.
Wow.
And I'm the only photographer that ever has photos of him smiling, because
Yeah.
Yeah, he
this
doesn't.
is before
He changed the name and all
before
that.
he had his his kind of his thing.
Yeah.
So these were all just experimenting. This picture is like the music wall, but he's smiling.
The main lesson that I learned from Robert and seeing his body of work was to appreciate the access that you get to these artists in their early careers, and to use your photographic skills and your connections to help document this time. Each photograph is a visual time capsule of history, and each of those images helps to create the legacy of these artists and also your body of work. And that is all that I have for you today. So I hope you enjoyed this little bit of information and a little bit of surprise. And yeah, sorry that it's been on the hard drive for 2 years, but I couldn't release it if I wanted to, and now I can. So sharing that story with you. Please check out Victory's music at the link below, and also like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at SkinnyWasHere. Also, I've updated my portfolio, so please check out the link below. It is skinnywashere.com if you need to remember that, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, be safe, be cool, and wear a goddamn mask, please.